Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Inept Pit, episode 10. I am Drew Campbell, your host. The other fat guy is Evan.
What is up?
What's up? This is
on two hands now.
Yeah, we're also on take fucking 2 because we just recorded half an episode, but Evan fucked up the recording, the viewer or whatever, the view of it. So we had to
the camera, yeah.
We had to redo it. And you know what, guys? You didn't miss much because it was turning out to be a bad episode. So it wasn't funny, and it was just a lot of us talking stand-up, which no one wants to fucking hear except for us. So welcome to episode 10, part deuce.
Yeah, you got the right.
Welcome to the pit. I mean, Inept Pit seems like we're 10 episodes in and we still can't even figure out how to record our own fucking podcast. So we got the name down right. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. I'm stupid, a little drunk. Evan's fat and stupid, so you know.
I'm not drunk, but I am having a little bit of cola here.
Ooh, that's good.
I'm not going to say which one it is out of fear of lawsuits.
That's definitely good for your blood sugar.
Yeah,
that's definitely what I call helping to the weight loss you've been working on.
I haven't been working on that. I just hope that it happens just one day out of the blue. Everything
It'll just
disappears.
Happen. Yeah. You should either get AIDS or worms. That will definitely make that happen with no work. I can suit you up with some dudes, dude. We can get you AIDS real fast. You ever heard of a man named Magic Johnson? He loves unprotected sex.
No, he loves basketball.
And unprotected sex. Actually, I think basketball is his second favorite thing. I think his number one favorite thing is unprotected sex with strangers, and then basketball, which is crazy because he's so good at basketball. He's like one of the greatest point guards of all time. Imagine how great he is at unprotected sex if that's not even his favorite thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Magic Johnson, you perform miracles like getting AIDS and it never affecting your health ever. It's almost like you don't have it.
Are you one of the Magic Johnson's conspiracy theorists?
No, I'm not. Well, in what way?
I don't know. There's people that don't think he has AIDS.
No, I think he has AIDS. I just think the cure to AIDS is having lots of money.
Oh.
I think that's the cure to every disease ever. It's just
being filthy rich.
Yeah, having boatloads of money, you'll surprisingly be able to pass any disease almost, unless you're too old to pass it. But he was young when he got it, wasn't he? He was like, I want to say early 30s, right? Fact check that. Let's be a podcast that actually has sources and doesn't just say things that are opinions.
Reading the Wikipedia page, which is
when did Magic Johnson get AIDS? It was right around the same time as Freddie Mercury, I believe. I want to say it was
early 90s. Yeah.
Maybe they got it from each other. You know, connect the dots, connect the celebrity dots. It was right around when everyone was getting AIDS, and now you don't really hear about it.
1991. Yeah.
Oh no, Freddie Mercury got AIDS before that. Right?
He died of AIDS in 1991.
Yeah, so he got AIDS probably in I think he had AIDS for a couple years before he died of it, didn't he? Or did he die right away from AIDS?
He had it for a bit, I think, but he didn't.
89? Look up, when did Freddie Mercury get AIDS? Maybe he passed. Maybe it's like that movie. Has anyone ever seen the movie It Follows? Maybe it's like It Follows, and Freddie Mercury passed it on to Magic Johnson passed it on to Freddie Mercury. That's why.
Yeah, he was diagnosed with an 87.
Oh, so he is good. He had 4 years of AIDS living. AIDS living in America.
Jeez. This is how we're going to open the 10th episode.
It's really good. It's really good. But also, the only thing you missed from the first take was me talking about how Evan's so fat that his fingers have dimples. That was the only part.
And that's when I cut off the podcast.
Yeah, it was. Show your fingers real quick. Let's see them dimples. Not in that angle because you're purposely doing it at an angle with the bright lights and everything. Your finger, you're at that stage of fat where your joints have dimples. Yeah, because your fist is closed. Oh, look at them dimples, dude. Look at it. You have indent. Yeah, you see it right there? X marks the spot, motherfucker. You can see an X in your fucking finger.
Wow, that's
X
special for the YouTube crowd.
X.
Sorry,
It's
you're on
fine if you're.
Spotify.
Well, if you're listening to this on Spotify, also just click the link on YouTube after this and give us a fucking view because our viewership's down so goddamn much. You could do us a favor. It's the Christmas season. It's the giving time. People go, "Hey, Drew, what do you want for Christmas?" I want you to promote this podcast like you never promoted it before. You know what's better than $100 is you sharing this on your social media. You could give me $100, but you know what I'd rather have than $100? Because with $100, what am I going to buy with that? Some fast food, some beer. That's about it. I don't
Some
invest.
followers for our podcasts. Some subscriptions.
I'll pay it for fucking ads for Facebook, which for some reason Facebook declined my fucking credit card last week.
Maybe they're onto it.
Randomly, some shit's declining my credit card. I think I need a new credit card because
maybe it's just you.
It has nothing to do with my funds because I keep double checking my funds, but there's just certain apps and things that are declining it. I think I've been flagged for fraud.
Have they tried to contact you?
No, but I think they've just tracked my purchase history, and a lot of shit's going like, "There's no way this is one human. There's no way that this purchase history equals one human." Have you bought me my Christmas present yet? By the way.
It just feels like yesterday I just gave you $25 for your birthday.
Well, next week, your birthday is
next
the
week,
13th,
next
right?
Sunday, yes.
13th?
Yes.
Holy shit, dude. I can't believe I knew what your birthday is.
Me too. That kind of shocked me a little bit.
I mean,
you didn't say it confidently. You're like, what is it, 13th?
I mean, right. This is how unconfident I am with birthdays. I know 2 other birthdays, I think. I know your birthday, right?
Yes.
I want to say my brother Jim's birthday is November 18th. Probably wrong on that.
I love how you're like,
I want to say I'm probably wrong. My girlfriend's birthday is March 20th. I know I'm right on that one. I think Sam's birthday is either, I can't say his name. Too late. My other brother's birthday is either August 30th or August 31st. I want to say August 30th. I always get him and Mitchell mixed up, our mutual friend Mitchell, because Sam's birthday is either August 30th or August 31st, and Mitchell's birthday is the other day, because I know their birthdays are like right adjacent to each other. And then my brother Eric's birthday is either November 23rd or 24th. And that's all the birthdays I know, and half of them, 3 of them I'm close to, if not correct. So I can't believe you're one of the... Dude, that's how you know you're my fucking boo, dude. I know your birthday. You should be flattered
you
right now.
Confidently knew my birthday. That's like a...
But I was right.
I know.
Fucking right. I don't remember anyone's birthday. You want to know why? Because birthdays don't matter. That's why.
Here we go. Another hot Drew take.
No, they don't fucking matter. All right, so here's the thing, right? Your first 16 birthdays matter, right?
Well, 18.
No, your 17th birthday doesn't matter. You can work a job now. What, you're 17? Oh, great. You still have hormones and you're not contributing to society in really any way. I don't care about your 17th birthday. 18th birthday, big deal. You can be in the army, and you used to be able to buy smokes. Can't buy smokes anymore, right?
Right, yeah.
19, 20 don't matter. 21, big fucking birthday. Probably the biggest birthday of them all after your first. After your first 12. No, because like if you celebrate. 100. No. And then after that, 30's a big one. 30's definitely a big one. 40, 50, 60. And it's just decades. 50, 60, 70. It's like people were like, oh my God, I'm 27. Let's make it a fucking week thing. It's like, I don't know, just go to work. Go to work.
We'll be 25. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. It's like a quarter.
No, it's not. You know how many people are 25?
A lot of people. Still.
Yeah, a lot of people. It doesn't matter. Evan, you're just... All it means, it only matters to you because it just means now we're in our this is the really sad part. It's now we're in our mid-20s and we see people accomplishing our dreams that are younger than us. That's really the only thing about being in our mid-20s.
It's a hard realization.
Isn't that true? Yeah. And you're like, oh, look at this guy who has a comedy special. How old is he? 23? And I'm like, fuck me, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's strange. I mean,
That's the only strange part about, like, I've finally gotten to the age where now I'm looking back and seeing people not my age, but people younger than me that are accomplishing like mainstream goals. Like when you see a band and they're like, oh, we're 21, we're all like 21, 22, and we're like blowing up. I'm like, fuck these young kids, dude. Fuck them. Like,
Well, that's most bands.
you remember
Start
when
out
I was,
young.
do you remember when I was doing well at comedy?
Seems like a long, long time ago.
No, but do you legit remember that? When I was getting, do you remember how I
like
used to have,
2015,
I was having like
16.
almost at least 2 paid gigs a week, 2 to 3 paid gigs a week. I was making, I mean, to be fair, I was living with my parents, so I didn't have to pay a lot of bills, but I was able to pay the very few bills I had and still had money for drugs just from doing comedy. I didn't have a job for a while. Like, I remember being 19, I didn't have a job. All I did was make money off doing stand-up. Lived at my parents' house, and I made enough money to pay the few bills I had, which was basically nothing, and then still have money for drugs and some video games I wanted. And it was like, dude, to be honest, I peaked. I peaked right there. It's the best part of my life. Literally the best part of my life.
Yeah, sick. Reminiscing on the past. It's always
And now COVID, and it's like I get 1 paid gig every 3 months.
yeah. I don't even get that. I just do open mics.
Yeah,
Open
I
mic
mean,
lifer, man. OML.
well, that's the thing is, if we're still open micers at 10 years in, we have to quit because that's when it becomes a joke. So that's the thing is, like, once this releases up, I'm going hard. I've been writing jokes again. I don't even think I was gonna be able to do that in quarantine because last quarantine I was not able to write jokes at all. Been able to write jokes. I've been writing material in this quarantine. And I'm just like, next time mics go up, I'm going to sign up for every fucking mic possible. I don't care if it's shit show or not. My goal is to do 5 shows a week, which is probably impossible after this happens. But dude, I'll do your
spreading.
I'll do your
over the state.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll do your grandma's bathroom. I don't care if there's 2 audience members. I'm there, dude. I don't give a shit. I'm about to fucking host a comedy show in my basement.
Hell yeah, dude! Invite me.
Well, I would, but that would take off the amount of people I can have attend because we can only have 10 people, right? It'll be 2 people. You'll host and I'll headline.
Yeah.
I totally earned the right to headline, right? I've been doing this long enough.
Yeah.
I'm getting depressed. Let's not talk about comedy. Let's not talk about comedy. I'm going to get sad. I'm going to get real sad about how my dreams are falling away, and I have no opportunity.
I didn't even bring up the comedy.
I brought it up. I know I did because I was proud that I wrote jokes. I don't have a notebook. I lost my notebook. Here's the thing. I'm the worst comic ever because I have a comedy notebook, but I literally leave it at every comedy show I go to. So I went and did a show a couple months ago in Battle Creek. Left it in Battle Creek. Shout out Dave Steves for bringing me my notebook. Next time I saw him a month or 2 later in Holland, and he brought me my notebook. But also, he brought me my notebook. Shout out. Listen to Good vs. Evil podcast with Dave Steves and John Batch. Yeah, good show. Also, John Batch listens to this podcast. He gave me a shout out. He says he likes what we're doing. I think that counts as him being an enabler, but no, shout out for him. No, they got a great podcast. Dave Steves, probably one of the sweetest sweethearts of all time. John Batch, just a real piece of shit, but in a good way, like in a me kind of way. Like he's a lovable piece of shit. Like he's a scumbag, but in all the good reasons. Sexual deviant, some might say. But yeah, sick. Go check out their podcast. What was I talking about?
He brought your notebook. Dave Steves brought your notebook.
I was telling other people to watch a more successful podcast.
Yeah. We're gonna finish that.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been writing jokes again. That's it. I'm proud of myself. It's hard to be creative, in a comedic standpoint in this. It's easy to be creative in a serious standpoint, but I think it's very hard to look at like a bad situation, see what's the word? Not longevity, but the levity It's that levity's award, right? That's a word people use. Levity.
Levity?
Look up levity. I swear I'm using a word right now, dude.
That's like a stand-up venue in New York.
Levity?
Levity Live or something? Or that closed? I don't know. I thought it was like a stand. Yeah, Levity
Levity.
Live.
Humor or frivolity, especially the treatment of a serious matter with humor or in a manner lacking due respect. I totally nailed that word, dude. Yeah. It's
Right,
really
yeah.
hard. It's very hard to have levity in a very serious situation like this. So, shout outs to me for being able to write jokes.
I was gonna say, this
Shout
whole
out to
podcast
me,
is just you
dude.
praising yourself.
Yeah, dude, shout out me for having the levity to write jokes in a terrible time. It's really easy to be fucking creatively serious.
I love how earlier you're like,
That's what I was saying, man. Like, that's, not to overrun you, but that's the thing about stand up that people don't give enough credit for. I mean, creativity is hard enough, but being able to be like to have levity in a shitty situation, I think is much harder than embracing the feelings that you're actually feeling in that situation, right? Like, oh, shit's sad. It's really easy to be sad when shit's sad, but to try to be like, all right, so what's funny about shit being sad right now? I think is a very difficult procedure. And hats off to myself for accomplishing all my goals. I guess what I'm really trying to say is I'm the best at doing stand up ever. That's what I'm really trying to say.
I'm just laughing at earlier. You're like, our first take we mostly talked about stand up and comedy. No one wants to hear about that, and yet we just went into a soliloquy about comedy.
Well, dude, I'm obsessed right now. All I can think about is stand up comedy. It's the number one thing I want to do.
But we can't do it right
we
now.
We can't
mostly.
do it. And that's another thing. Like a lot of people, I feel like there's no. I mean, wrestlers are probably actually the only other person that can understand this. And shout out wrestlers. Like, is a live performance that you can do because you can act on film, right? Like that works. You can create a piece of art without an audience and then post it online. You can write a story without there being an audience. You can write a song and without anyone being there. You can't tell jokes to your fucking self.
Isn't that what this podcast is?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's not stand-up. Stand-up's a whole other thing. Stand-up is 100% relies on a live audience. No one listens to stand-up like they listen to music. You know what I mean? Stand-up is inherent. Well, they should, but even then, like, most albums aren't. There's a reason most people record their albums in a fucking studio and not at a live venue.
Yeah.
Like stand-up is not recorded in a studio. It's recorded at a live venue because it innately revolves around there being a crowd. And wrestling's the same thing, man. It's like both of those mediums are just desperate for fucking people to be there to witness it. It relies on hearing the reactions of the crowd. I could tell jokes all day. They're not funny unless people are laughing.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll just post on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But it's a difference as a humor on there. Because I guarantee you there's jokes on Twitter wouldn't work up in stand-up form, and stand-up form jokes don't work on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same thing.
It's delivery. If you stand up, you're in front of an audience.
Well, it's delivery.
How you deliver it matters. But if you just do a silly one-liner on Facebook and people like it.
Even then, sometimes I don't think people like one-liners as much anymore on Facebook. It's like social media has its own sense of humor now. It's more about, I don't even know what it is. I can't put my tongue on it, which I should probably do as being a person involved in humor, is figure out what social media humor is. Shout out to the last episode. It's social media humor is like Napoleon Dynamite humor.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's being kind of quirky. I don't know how to do that. I know how to write jokes. I don't know how to be quirky.
You're like, this is my reasoning for not getting as much likes on social media.
Well, yeah, it's like wearing a funny hat in text form. That's what I compare. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, he said that. It's not that the words are funny. It's almost like the way it's like that someone would say that is funny. That's what Twitter is. It's like Sarah Silverman when she first started stand-up kind of humor. It's like, did I say that? That's like what it kind of is. It's like cover your mouth like, oops.
Yeah.
Here's a mistake. Is this stupid? Oh, I said something dumb.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
Well,
know.
no one wants to talk about humor except for me. So why don't you
Yeah,
fucking
we weren't
bring
supposed
up
to
a
talk about it in the
topic?
first place.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. My life's in the fucking drain right now. I got no stand up. I can't hang out with a lot of friends, and yeah, work sucks a lot right now.
Yeah, same.
I'm making everyone's Christmas really good by making my Christmas suck dick.
That's probably
Delivering
true in
packages.
your profession, yeah.
Yeah, my back just fucking hurts, dude. I fucking hate Christmas. I used to love Christmas. It's a great time. A lot of people get all like, some people hate Christmas. Some people like it too much. Why do you like Christmas? I know you do because you're Christian.
Just love the gifts, giving gifts and receiving gifts.
See, I'm not about receiving gifts. I love giving gifts, dude. It's so fun to give people shit.
Are
I
you just
literally
saying
love it.
this?
No, I'm serious. I'm like, no, I'm like, that's the best part about being an adult that I've found, or about making a decent income, is having the money to buy people all their shit.
The man who,
because I
4 or
realized
5 episodes ago, send me $25 for my birthday.
Well, it was just for
live
the
on the
thought.
podcast.
It was for the thought, dude. It was for the thought. All right, but it's my birthday, not yours. We gotta do something special for your birthday.
It's next week.
Yeah, we'll probably. You want to record on your birthday?
Might have some family. I don't know. Maybe
But you might what?
my family might come in and hang out.
Bring them on the cast, dude.
I was actually thinking about that. Like, yeah.
Dude, ask for Christmas. Can we just do a Evan family fucking birthday party on the cast?
Inept Pit party.
Dude, my fucking dream for episode 11 is Bob being on the cast, dude. Dude,
He can just
Bob
replace me. He can replace me. He'd probably be a lot funnier.
Oh, dude, I guarantee you, me and Bob would be the funniest shit on the planet.
Yeah.
I want to pick Bob's brain, be like, yo, Bob, so what do you think about all these women wanting rights?
Yeah. I think my dad would pass.
Bring him on. Dude, tell him to wear a luchador mask and then come on anyways. He'll be El Barbarino. It'll be Luchador Ababo.
Yeah.
No one even know it's him.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
That's the good birthday present. And that goes back. That goes shout out. We're talking about Christmas. Did I say this on this podcast, or did I say this on the half hour that we didn't release?
The half hour, that's what we're calling it, the tutorial.
Yeah, what? I don't want money. I don't want things. You know what I want for Christmas? I want every one of you who loves me to share this fucking podcast.
Yeah, that was on the last take.
Yeah, share. Do everything that you're supposed to do. Like, this podcast is free. It takes no money to support it. All you have to do is like it on every form of the podcast that it comes out on. You also have to just share it to all your social media. You have to comment on it. And guess what? Completely free. And it's worth more to me than $50. Because I realized this week, or in the last week or two, I realized I'm a minimalist. I don't really own a lot. Look at my fucking room. It's just bare walls. I got a bed.
You took the one thing down that was there, or your camera's not in a position where we can see.
Oh, the drug
thing that was saying,
I have a piece of art from my girlfriend on the wall. That's it. That's all I have now. Shout out, boo. No, I mean, I realize I'm a minimalist. I have like nothing in my room, and like every time I think about buy, there's nothing I want to buy. Every time I think about buying shit, I always just think about what shit I want to buy for other people. I never think about shit I want to buy for myself because I just don't want anything.
I usually just buy food for myself.
Yeah, that same thing. That's the only thing I'll buy for myself is food or booze. But besides that, I don't really – there's no physical objects I want anymore.
Well, where everyone's on their phone, their laptop, it's all you really need.
Well, I don't even do that much. To be honest, it's – I don't know.
Of course, you have a laptop and a phone. You don't need to buy those two things.
No, literally everything I want, money can't buy. Does that make sense? Yeah, like I want success for this podcast, and I want success for me in stand up, and I
we gotta pay people to follow and pay people to.
Well, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna buy followers like those fake people on Twitter do, where they're like, "Oh, I have 10,000 followers." It's like, yeah, you just bought 10,000 bots to follow you. I know stand-ups have done that. Without naming names, I know stand-ups that have done that. It's fucking sad. I'd rather kill myself before I bought fake followers just to look legitimate.
Watch episode 20 when we finally do it.
Yeah, 10 episodes from now. Look,
yeah.
check it out. Overnight, we got 10,000 followers, guys. I have no idea how to help it.
Yeah. That's what's up.
But yeah, no, it's like, yeah. So, if you want to give me the best gift of all time, number one, watch this podcast on every platform. Share this podcast on every platform. Social media, and I'm doing plugs early, technically.
Yeah, that's how desperate I was wondering, why are we doing this?
It's kind of plugs early because no one listens towards the end. I watch Spotify. A lot of people drop off in the last 8 minutes. Once we get towards plugs, people turn it off. A lot of people turn off plugs.
Which is sad. That's our funniest stuff is in plugs.
It is. Actually, to be honest, if you listen to this
the funniest part of the podcast,
the plugs are really funny. I get really desperate, and it's kind of a good bit. I'm not going to, toot my own horn a little bit, but.
Yeah, so stick around for the end. And if the ending of this one sucks, go back to the other.
I'll tell you this:
check out the endings.
All the plugs are better than this episode. This episode sucks. This is a bad episode. I knew it coming into this one after we had the technical difficulties. Sucks. This is a bad episode. But Evan,
take one.
I don't even know if that's true, dude. This blows.
It's not that bad.
I feel like I should do a shot. And by shot, I to my brain, like literally, home, like that shot.
Nah. Did you hear about the Floyd Mayweather's coming out of retirement to fight Logan Paul?
Dude, I'm so fucking mad about that.
Okay, you heard about it. I thought it was just breaking some news. It just came out like
no. I saw that like a few hours before, like maybe an hour before we recorded our first episode. Not even that pissed me off so fucking much. Can you imagine that bullshit, dude? Floyd Mayweather, technically not my favorite, but if you go from a record standpoint, is technically the greatest boxer of all time. He's undefeated. But I mean, you go into if you go into the details, he dodged some boxers in their primes because he's a chicken shit bitch. But I don't know, dude. I'll never fucking forgive him. He refused to fight Manny Pacquiao, and Manny Pacquiao was undefeated. And then once Manny Pacquiao chalked up some L's, then he fought Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, my favorite boxer of all time.
Yeah.
He's the fucking GOAT, dude. I fucking love. I mean, that was probably because when I started watching wrestling, or when I started watching boxing.
Yeah,
dude, Manny Pacquiao was just crushing it. He was just the fucking GOAT, dude. And Floyd Mayweather just seemed like a bitch to me because he just kept avoiding Manny Pacquiao. And then once Manny Pacquiao lost a couple fights, Floyd Mayweather finally fought a fucking old Manny Pacquiao with a bunch of L's, and Manny Pacquiao just was trying to hit him the whole match, and the entire match, fucking Floyd Mayweather just ran away from him. It should have been the boxing match. In its prime, would have been the boxing match of our generation, like literally like fucking huge match. It would have been like fucking Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson kind of huge, which never happened, but like that kind of big of match, that's what it was going to be. And then he waited too long, and it just sucked. It was
You beat Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor's not a fucking boxer. Of course he did.
I know, but still. But...
Who gives a shit? That match is a fucking circus. Boxing's become a circus. We got Mike Tyson coming out of retirement to fight another guy out of retirement in retirement rules matches that goes to a fucking draw. We got fucking Jake Paul boxing Logan Paul. Sorry, I don't give a shit. They're the same person to me. We got Logan Paul boxing a fucking basketball player with no training. He knocks out a basketball player. Not a boxer. He knocks out a basketball player. And now he's getting a match with the greatest fucking boxer of all time. Dude, if I was a boxer, I'm just interested in boxing. I'm insulted. If I actually trained to be a boxer and was in that division...
Yeah, they'd be mad.
I'd be so fucking insulted. You know, anyone that actually is like trained to be a boxer would destroy
Yeah.
Logan Paul. Like, legit destroy him. I'm not saying, like, the guy didn't have some boxing skills. Like, clearly he's been training.
Working on it for a couple of years.
Yeah, but that's nothing, dude. There's guys that are, like, been working on their entire fucking life. This was a hobby for him in the last couple of years, and then he fought a guy that thought he was tougher than him, who had no boxing background, and knocked him out. That's not impressive. If you have a fighting background and you're fighting someone with no fighting background, of course you're going to beat them. You've had lessons. They didn't. Yeah, you're going to beat them. You're in the same weight class. There's no way a guy's just going to beat you with no fucking training. Like, it doesn't matter what training you take. If you take MMA, if you take boxing, anything like that, you have a leg up on people unless they have, like, real good – actually, not even then, because I would say, like, unless they have, like, history of fighting in real life. But even then, it's not going to – compete to you in a professional level because there's rules in a professional level. So even if someone's good at street fighting, you get them in a boxing ring, they'll get their shit worked. I don't care how many street fights you want. If you get in there with someone as a boxer and you have to pertain to boxing rules, you get your fucking ass worked. There ain't no fucking dirty fighting. There ain't no fucking cheap shots or anything like that. It's like, no, you go one-on-one with someone who's been trained in any kind of, like, actual trained fighting, like boxing, MMA, or any form of MMA, or like jiu-jitsu, karate, Muay Thai, anything like that, you're fucked, dude. You're literally going to be fucked. There's no way you're going to beat them. You'll get your shit worked. I don't care how tough you are. If it's you could have fought, you could have won 100 bar fights and you had 2 people against you at once. But if you go in there in the ring with someone who's trained in a fucking fighting style and playing by rules and not a fucking bar fight, you'll get your ass working. You'll look like goddamn bitch. Get knocked out just like Nate Robinson did. So the fact that he gets a fucking match now against probably
Floyd Money Mayweather,
the greatest, I mean, like, again, from statistical, the greatest boxer of all time.
To make a lot of money, though.
He will. And guess what? This is the end of boxing. The only true... No, it is. Like, the only true...
Or a new era of boxing.
Yeah, where it's a circus show now. Where it's not about talent anymore. It's just it's kind of where stand-up's going. It's like stand-up's no longer about how good of a stand-up you are. It's like, do you have prior fame from something else and can put asses in seats? Well, guess what? You now are a headliner. I mean, dude, how many people... There's YouTube stars that can headline comedy clubs and never performed stand-up before.
Yeah, I guess.
Which, I mean, I get it from a business standpoint, because if you're a businessman, you're just like, I don't really give a shit about the quality of the show. I just want to make money. So I get it, but boxing's dead, dude. The only big money match that's happened in boxing in the last 5 years that was worth watching, like actually is a credible boxing match, is Fury versus Wilder. That's the only that was a fucking, both of those matches were awesome. 2 lifelong dedicated boxers, insanely talented, fighting only to be the best boxer. And there's no this circus shit. Like Floyd Mayweather's last matches were what? Conor McGregor. Manny Pacquiao, essentially a retired Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, not in his prime.
Not in his prime. Took many losses. Was pretty much on his way out of his business. Conor McGregor, not a boxer. It's like, I get it. He has MMA background, but that's why there's no way he was ever going to beat Floyd Mayweather, a fucking boxer.
Yeah.
It's not.
Floyd hasn't boxed in like 3 years, has he? He's been retired for like 3 years.
It wasn't 3 years.
2017.
Was it 2017 when he fought Conor? It couldn't have been that. Oh, shit.
Let me fact check.
It might be. I was, you know,
I looked it up.
Actually, now I think about it, I think you're right. I think it was about it. And then I heard Conor, and dude, I heard fucking, this is what's going to happen. Manny Pacquiao is having a match against fucking Conor McGregor in boxing.
Oh.
Like, what the fuck has happened to boxing? No one gives a shit about actual boxers anymore. Boxing has now become a sport of either people who used to be famous for boxing and celebrities. It's fucking sad.
Yeah, but McGregor Mayweather was August 2017 in Las Vegas.
Dude, that's like if this podcast got big and I got to fight fucking Conor McGregor in the UFC. Like, it makes no sense. It makes literally no sense. It's like, you have a following.
Let's get the campaign going. Let's get Drew to fight.
Drew versus Conor McGregor, dude. Fucking hashtag that. Hashtag it and send it out. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't like Conor McGregor. I think he's a cunt, but he'll kick the shit out of me.
Yeah,
like,
so we need this pay-per-view.
I think I'm a tough guy, but I understand UFC tough is a whole other thing. Like, that's another thing a lot of people are like, oh, I have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm pretty tough. It's like, I dare you to fight anyone who's fought in UFC. They'll beat the fuck out of you. I don't care if you have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, dude. UFC fighting is a whole nother fucking level of tough. They'll beat the fuck out of anyone. It's more than just being a black belt in one degree of martial arts. It's understanding a whole level of combat. It's like to be a good UFC fighter, you're an insane fucking level fighter. But Conor McGregor going to boxing where there's only strikes and under those rules, there's no way he was ever going to win that.
Yeah.
He'll never beat any accomplished boxer in boxing because he's not a boxer. UFC's a whole other fucking realm. You got grapples, takedowns, all that kind of shit. Boxing, straight strikes. The only person I could see that's, and this is probably biased, UFC star that could probably do well in boxing, but I mean, like, even if you put him up against the heavyweights, get his shit worked, is like you could have like a Brock Lesnar versus Tyson Fury or Wilder. But either one of them would just destroy him in boxing. He's a great UFC fighter, but would just get wrecked.
Who are some of the WWE people that win the UFC?
Yeah, Brock Lesnar.
Is that the only one?
Well,
there's somebody else.
Only CM Punk, but CM Punk,
yeah.
he was another one where it was like a joke because CM Punk had no. He started to take. He was a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think, actually. Just like a lot of other people. Like people who were like, oh, I'm tough because I have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And then he went into UFC and just literally got wrecked. Like he had 2 matches. His first match, he tapped out in 30 seconds. It was really sad. And then his second match went to rounds, but it shouldn't have. Like the guy just literally was destroyed him. Like CM Punk had like a good showing in the first round, and then like the next 4 rounds, the guy just dominated him. It was clear that the guy won. It should have got called in the 4th round. Like the guy was in such control. CM Punk was so gassed and didn't have any defense. He was just getting his shit worked.
Maybe they just kept him on just to keep the ratings up or something.
Oh, for sure. It was solely to cash in. It was just to get more viewers in. Because he was huge in wrestling back when he was in wrestling. I mean, he fucking wrestled The Rock when The Rock returned. And you know you're big if they're the guy.
He wrestled The Rock.
They're one of the, like, and this is like return. This is like Rock at the height of his fame. The Rock returned and wrestled 2 people when he came back to WWE. CM Punk and John Cena. So it's like, you know you're a big deal. You're a big draw if you're fucking one of the only guys that choose to wrestle The Rock.
It's like the big 3. It's a trinity of WWE.
CM Punk, John Cena, The Rock?
At the time, probably.
Oh, at the time, yeah, absolutely. They're the 3 biggest stars. I talk about the 3 biggest stars in wrestling history. It's actually The Rock doesn't make it. The Rock he's
like the biggest name to come out of WWE.
Come out of it, but for his time, dude, he never carried the company to the highest ratings as long as these 3. It's the 3 biggest names are Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, Steve Austin, and John Cena. Yeah. I mean, like, John Cena was the number 1 guy, and I'm not even a huge fan of him, but I mean, like, he was WWE for like a decade. The Rock was a big star at the time of Stone Cold, but Stone Cold was bigger than The Rock while Stone Cold was there. And then when Stone Cold retired, he passed the torch to The Rock, and The Rock was the big star for maybe 2 years before he left. So to be honest, he's the biggest celebrity ever come out of wrestling.
Yeah. Hercules.
But John Cena, Stone Cold, and Hulk Hogan were all more important than them. I put Rock at number 4. Ooh, actually, I don't know. It's like probably Rock and Ric Flair. Rock and Ric Flair are probably tied at number 4. Ric Flair is the GOAT of all time, to be honest. But to put it on like actual television, because Ric Flair was doing a bunch of shit non-televised.
Stay tuned for a future pod where Drew releases his list of top 100 wrestlers of all time.
Top 5, and this is non-biased, top 5 of all time of just popularity is Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, In no order, clearly. The Rock and Ric Flair
Okay.
was the biggest 5 wrestlers of all time. And another 5, we got Macho Man Randy Savage for sure.
King.
No, Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker, Sting, and Goldberg.
Thought you were
Those
gonna
are
throw Mick
the
Foley
biggest.
in there.
No, I love Mick Foley, but probably not the biggest 10 wrestlers of all time.
That's fair.
I would say those are the highest drawing, biggest money names of all time.
Dope.
You got it, guys. You asked for it, and I gave it to you. One
I said
listener
100.
that actually listens to wrestlers. Oh, I got the 10 down, dude.
All
Don't
right.
make me. I'll do a top 100 wrestlers of all time.
Are they even 100 wrestlers?
I'll post it. I'll do it right now. On not right now, but look for Inept Pit top 100 wrestlers of all time getting posted to the page.
All right. You see, that's why I'm here. I threw out
But
ideas.
before I post it out there, it's not based off of who I think the most talented is. It's based off of who was the
Most
biggest
popular?
stars, most popular stars, and sustaining. Because I mean,
Yeah.
if you really go back in the day, it's gonna be like Bruno Sammartino and Pedro Morales, but no one knows their names nowadays. But
No.
that was before wrestling was really on television.
They're
It
like
was
the
all
first
house
people.
shows. Well, like they would have held it for like thousands of days. Pedro used to hold the Intercontinental Champion. He was the first Mexican-born wrestler that held the Intercontinental title. He was big, and then Bruno Sammartino held the World Championship, and they used to sell. Both those guys used to be able to sell out Madison Square Garden like that, but that was before it was on TV. So live show tickets didn't matter as much as now. Like live show tickets are not important now as much as like viewership on TV.
Okay.
But they'll definitely be in it. They'll be on my list. For no one who cares. This is just all right. This is why I need to start a separate wrestling podcast so I can get all my autistic wrestling thoughts out on there.
Yeah, I feel like we're slowly turning into a wrestling podcast.
We kind of are. Sting debuted, but continue. Sting
Yeah,
debuted on AEW. It was sick.
Yeah, we brought that up on the first take, and I said I thought the singer from the Police was wrestling when I saw that on
Every
Twitter.
step you take, I'll be watching you. Every step you take, I'll be watching. I don't think I sang that right. I don't think that was right.
Where you get sued now by Sting from the Police.
Bring it, Sting. You try to fight me, I'm going to give you a fucking Stinger death drop. Shout out the real Sting. If I fucking ever meet Sting from the Police, dude, I'm putting him in a fucking Stinger deathlock, which is just a sharpshooter with a fucking more thematic name. Like,
Yeah,
you got to add Scorpion in it if Sting does it.
yeah.
The funny thing about Sting is just he's literally. Have you ever seen the movie The Crow?
No.
All right, so The Crow.
I think we established I don't watch any movies. I think that's why.
Okay, The Crow was a movie that came out in the 90s starring Brandon Lee, which was Bruce Lee's son. It was hugely popular in a lot of hipster communities now. A lot of hipsters love that movie. But it was hugely popular. Brandon Lee died in the filming of it. He got killed with a blank shot. He got shot point blank with a blank shot. But the thing with blank shots, they could still be lethal from close range. So he actually died in the filming of the movie. Movie blew up. It's big as fuck. At least on like cult spectrum. So Sting got injured and then re-debuted with essentially just a fucking Crow gimmick. Look up the Crow. Look at the Crow and then look up Sting. And just look how it's just a verbatim ripoff of the Crow. He was the Crow as a wrestler.
Where I'm looking at a photo.
Yeah, the Crow.
Yeah, there's a guy with long Sting.
What?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Are you looking at a picture of the Crow?
Of the
Long
movie.
hair, face paint?
Yeah.
Okay, now look up a picture of Sting. And tell me if you can tell the difference. Like, it's that meme. It's like the meme where it's like It's the same picture. Oh shit, dude! I could become meme famous right now. It's just posting a picture of the crow and this thing, and then that thing from The Office where those are the same picture or whatever that fucking dumb meme is. I hate memes.
I mean, Sting the Wrestler is kind of just.
Is it
long hair? You know, it's a buzz cut kind of.
Oh no, you're looking at the old pictures. I'm talking like the black and white face paint. Do you see that picture?
Yeah, I see that.
Long hair, black and white. Because beforehand he was like a surf. His gimmick was surfer dude. He had like blonde buzz cut hair.
So you're saying Steen ripped off the Crow?
I'm not saying he did. He did. He absolutely did. He wore a trench coat. He did everything. But it's sick. It works.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean.
You guess it's the exact same thing. It was around the same time the movie came out.
Is that like a thing people say, or is that kind of just your...
No, that's a thing a lot of people say. He's just the Crow as a wrestler. Oh. He wasn't always, because, I mean, he'd wrestled for over a decade beforehand. And he had this just kind of weird... He just had like a surfer gimmick. Blonde hair, kind of jacked dude. He also fucking tag teamed with RoboCop once. Wrestling's weird. to promote RoboCop 2, RoboCop helped Sting in a wrestling match.
Yeah, wrestling.
Yeah, that's why it's fun. I don't know how many times have you watched boxing and fucking RoboCop came out to help in the fight against Floyd Mayweather.
I don't even watch boxing.
I know, dude.
Boxing news.
You're such a sports guy, and I'm not into sports. But the one sport I'm into is boxing, and that's the only sport you don't pay attention to.
Yeah,
if we were just not suited to be friends, that was the big sign on this.
Yeah.
Also, you're fat. I gotta get at least 10 fat jokes in, otherwise it's not our podcast. I know it was lazy, but yeah, I had to toss it in there.
It's my goal for next year is to get thinner. But that's been my goal every year for a few years now. So.
Do you know the Stephen King book / movie, Thinner?
No.
Thinner. It's a movie, it's like it's about apparently there's a hate word now, but whatever, it's kind of the word used for it. There's like a weird gypsy woman, and she curses a guy who's fat with thinner. She just like this points up. She goes thinner, and slowly throughout the movie, he starts losing weight at drastic rate until he's like anorexic skinny. Like he just can't help it. She curses him to the point where he just constantly is losing weight. So at one point, he kind of hits a balance where he's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm not fat anymore," and then he keeps losing weight, where it's like he's like becomes a skeleton. Not a good movie, but a good short story or book. Is it a book or a short story? Look that up. Let's fact check. Shout out Stephen King. I just got done reading Full Dark
for the 15th time.
No, I got done reading Full Dark, No Stars, which is a short story compilation. I mentioned 1922 in like 2 podcasts ago. I finished it this week.
It's a movie.
It's a movie, I know that.
It's in the 1984 novel.
Is it a full novel? Or is it in how many pages?
309.
Oh, so it is a full novel. I haven't read it.
But it's under his pseudonym, Richard Bachman.
Oh, it's under his pseudo. That's interesting. What's the other one he did? He did one about where, like, he did this weird one under that pseudo about this character who can't stop walking or some shit like that. I don't know. Tweet at us if you know what I'm talking about. If you're a big Stephen King fan, it's something I don't remember the name of it, but he did some weird story about under his pseudonym about like these characters just can't stop walking, something like that. I read it a long time ago.
I'm looking it up right now.
There's some weird story where they're like forced to continue walking. It's like Running Man, maybe? Is that it? Or is that a movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger? Are those 2 different things?
No, that's a Stephen King novel, The Running Man, but it's not under his.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
it's under his pseudo. What's it about? Man. What is it about?
It follows protagonist Ben Richards as he participates in the game show The Running Man, in which contestants allowed to go anywhere in the world are chased by hunters employed to kill them.
Okay, so I might have been wrong about what it's about, but God damn it, am I not a literature guru? I mean, when you first started listening to this podcast, we're on podcast 10, did you think I was going to be able to pull up a Stephen King novel under his pseudonym? I mean, God damn it, am I not educated at some level or what?
I guess like English lit.
Modern
That's
English
it.
lit.
Yeah.
Horror English lit. I wouldn't even say. I wouldn't even give me my.
Not.
I have a pretty good understanding of horror. Well, also whorish, which we call porn, but whorish English lit.
Yeah. Do you like Edgar Allan Poe?
I like Cask of Amontillado.
What, that short story everyone read in 7th grade and then abandoned after?
I don't know. Did you read it in 7th grade?
I think we read that was like a required reading. Like I'm at middle school for school.
Well, I don't know. What is there? There's the
Telltale Heart,
Telltale Heart,
The Raven,
The Fall of the House of Usher. I don't really have to. I'm not a big fan of his work. I don't know. Some of it's good, but some of it's just like I'm not. A lot of people like The Raven's really good at its rhyming scheme. I mean, you get like
this is our podcast.
Look at a rapping tapping at my balls, a rapping tapping in my hole. Oh wait, I'm thinking of horror's literature. I mean, all right. So when it goes to horror literature, a rapping tapping at my chamber door. Like when he keeps referring to his chamber door, that's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Raven.
Nevermore. Okay, you know what's actually really? You know what's the best? Better than the actual literature of The Raven is The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror of The Raven.
I don't think I've seen that.
Whenever the main protagonist speaks, it's Homer. The Raven is played by Bart. Eleanor is a figment of Marge, but the narrator is fucking none other than James Earl Jones. You know James Earl Jones, right? He was Darth Vader. Well, he's Mufasa, and he was also Darth Vader. He's like the greatest narrator. Like, go watch. What Treehouse of Horror is that? Look up what Treehouse of Horror is. That's the best. It's so fucking good. It's one of the early ones. It's so good. It's the best rendition of The Raven ever. It's kind of funny, but that's really good. James Earl Jones guest stars in a fucking Simpsons episodes for The Raven.
It's like season 2. The second season.
That's why I said it. I think it might be the first Treehouse of Horror. It's really good.
First season, the first Simpsons episode ever is the Christmas one where they get Santa's little helper.
Yep. That's a good episode.
I just watched it the other day.
But Treehouse of Horror, was it is it the first Treehouse of Horror?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. What else was on that one? Was it the one with the house where they go to the house that's haunted and then
Bad Dream
they all try to kill each other? Oh man, I'm so good
at the Dam.
Yes, I'm so good at pop culture. It's insane. I deserve a degree in pop culture. The fact that I could just quote,
yeah.
What do you know?
This podcast.
What do you know, Mr. Fancy College Degree? Quote me a fucking character from a goddamn Edgar Allan Poe story. Come on, tell me a character. I quoted Eleanor. I didn't even know not even just the protagonist. I knew his dead beloved's name.
I thought it was Annabelle.
Fuck, you're right.
Annabelle.
God damn it! I got so confident with Eleanor.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm a fucking idiot. Well, yeah, dude, I fucking knew it was Eleanor. And you're like, I thought it was Annabelle. I'm like,
Annabelle.
As soon as you said that, I was like, it's definitely Annabelle. He's definitely 100% right in being Annabelle.
Yeah, that's all I know about. I feel like we went through this entire.
I don't know shit about literature. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna re-step everything I said. I don't know shit. All I know is Herman Melville.
Isn't that the Moby Dick guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when he died, he was in his obituary. He was quoted as they called him Henry Melville. That's how big of a loser he was. No one knew who he was, and then Moby Dick got big after he died. Shout out to this podcast. After I kill myself, it's gonna be big. This is essentially just a manifesto for after I off myself.
Jeez.
Dude, you wait. Once I kill myself after 100 episodes, this shit's gonna boom.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
All we got is about a little less than 2 years. If we do an episode a week, it's gonna take a little less than 2 years. This is countdown to me blowing my brains out on this wall. Countdown to infinity of me no longer being alive. Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to our Patreon for me doing ball torture videos until I kill myself.
That is hilarious. Trying to advertise your own.
Oh man, I know it's funny because instead of laughing, you told me it was hilarious. That's how I know how funny it was.
No, how you said it was funny.
I don't know. I think this might be the worst episode yet.
No, that was funny.
How far into this are we? I'm ready to be done.
I think we got to like a few more minutes, like 9, 12.
What do you mean you think? I need to know. God damn it. We're already that far in, it hasn't been funny yet? Fuck! This episode sucks! This episode sucks. I thought we were still in the beginning half. I haven't been funny yet. I don't even know what we talked about.
We talked about wrestling again.
Ah, shit. No one likes wrestling except for me. God damn it.
Well, we talked about boxing. Then we went on another tangent.
But
I brought up boxing, and now we're talking about Edgar Allan Poe's catalog.
That's what I think of Edgar Allan Poe's catalog. Cask of Amontillado or nothing. That's what I say.
Yeah.
The fall of the House of Usher's all right. Telltale Heart, decent. The Raven, it's good if the Simpsons do it. That's my final opinion on it. If the Simpsons are doing the Raven, I'm a fan.
I think when I was in school, we went on a field trip to see like short stories be performed at like the Temple in Saginaw.
Did we now?
Well, I don't know. It was you. We went to different schools, but maybe you were there. Or maybe you didn't show up that day.
I remember going to see the Beauty and the Beast at the Temple, and there was some kid that definitely had brain damage, and he kept screaming in the middle of a play. And I'm a bad person, so I kept laughing. I feel bad about it now, but it was funny at the time. Does that make sense? Like, I feel bad about it. I shouldn't have laughed, but I couldn't help laughing because he just screamed. He just yelped. This is how bad of a human I was. I kept referring to him as the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
That kid?
Yeah, well, you should have seen his face. He looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I mean, to be honest, from a reference standpoint, I was killing it at references at 10 years old, dude. I was nailing the references at 10. But from a humanity perspective, it was really wrong of me to do that. I should have done that. It's not good to make fun of people with problems. But still a good reference, dude. Still, I pride myself on having sick references since I was 10.
Yeah.
You know what? I regret saying all of this publicly forever. It's going to be in the etherways forever now. So lay it on me, Twitter. By the way, tweet at me. That'd be a great way to go into plugs. If you're mad about me making fun of someone with problems,
yeah, that was a weird tangent.
Whatever.
I brought up a field trip, and you're like, "Here's my experience at that place."
Whatever, dude. I'm autistic. I've decided I identify as autistic now, which is fine. I have not been diagnosed, but you don't have to be diagnosed. You can just identify as what you want now. So I identify as autistic. I officially do after last episode. I've been teasing it for a while, but yeah, no, I officially identify as autistic.
This is a big reveal toward the end of the podcast.
It was a big yeah, this is me coming out. I'm autistic. What up? Next time we have a conversation, I bet I'll make you feel weird. I bet I'll make you feel uncomfortable. And that's because I identify as autistic. Welcome to the pro. And you know what? Autistic people are better than non-autistic people. They're so goddamn interesting. I'm watching this show, Twin Peaks, right now, which essentially is a whole show where a murder happens, but it's in a small town. And essentially just everyone in the town is autistic, and then also the investigator comes there. I mean, maybe they're not, but the way they film it and the way David Lynch creates the characters, they're essentially just a bunch of autistic people. Like, they just have weird quirks, and they don't really make sense, and they awkwardly talk to one another. So I like to think that it's a town full of autistic people like me, and they're very interesting. Go watch Twin Peaks, and I'm not talking about my hairline. What up?
I feel like our audience, they would be like Twin Peaks fans.
They should be. If they like one autistic guy talking to a fat guy, they're gonna love a whole ton of autistic people talking to each other in Twin Peaks. So go watch Twin Peaks. And you know what? I dare you get mad at that. This is a pro-autistic podcast right now. We're saying autistic people who fucking kick ass, and you should involve yourself with them more and treat them more like a standard human instead of someone who's special. They're not special. They're average people, just like me. Just like me. And kind of Evan, but not fat. And, yeah, they're more interesting than... Well, me and the rest of the autistic community, what we like to call you guys is normies. We're way better than you normies. You normies are boring.
This might be a good time for plugs.
Yeah, let's plug it in the ass. Let's fucking go. All right. You can follow us on Facebook at Inept Pit. Makes sense, right? That's the name. Give us a like. Comment on our shit. Like all our other stuff. Share our posts. Again, it's the giving time of year. We're giving you free podcasts. Give us free shares and free comments and free likes because Santa is God's son. That's what I learned in school. He's the real Jesus. Jesus is actually Santa. That's why those days lie on the same. And he's also, and that's also why he's magical.
What? This is ridiculous.
I don't know anymore. I don't know. Jesus is magical. Santa's magical. All I'm saying is, you ever seen Jesus and Santa in the same place? I don't think so. I don't think so. They're the same person. Okay, what else? Fucking, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe. It's either in this corner or this corner.
We gotta find out what corner it is next time.
We'll figure it out eventually. I don't know. It's one of these. It's either that corner or that corner. Maybe by episode 100, we'll figure it out. Hit subscribe, y'all motherfuckers out there. Hit, you know what? You know, y'all should be hitting that subscribe button. Y'all should be hitting that like button. And y'all should be getting into more freestyle rap battles. And then post the links onto the comments page because we need more comments. Have a freestyle rap battle, post it in the comments. That's what I say. We will retweet it on our Twitter, which is Inept Pit, which you can follow.
Yeah, we need followers. That's our biggest.
Yes, we need followers. We have 3 right now.
Biggest weakness right now.
Yeah, it's me, Evan, and a bot. that's our followers. It's a bot with fake tits. That's our followers.
Makes perfect sense.
It's a Russian bot with fake tits. That should be the name of the episode, maybe? No, we'll think of something better. Maybe like Simpsons and the Raven or something about my dick. What else? If you got any questions, concerns, or interests, guess what? We have a fucking Gmail. We have a fucking email. You want to book us? You want to book us on a show that can't happen legally? Email us, dude. Yeah. Email us, ineptpit@gmail.com. We don't even have anything else. We just nailed down Inept Pit. We got that whole fucking thing. So yeah, or if you just want to say, if you want to do hate mail, that'd be cool too. If you want to hate mail us, we'll read it live not live, but live-ish days after we record on YouTube. Fuck me. Follow me at Drew Must Die on Twitter. No, I've never gotten a single follower since I started this thing. I just do it because I'm trying to.
Funniest part of the podcast.
I'm just trying to be a professional. That's what I'm really trying to do. So I pretend like I have a Twitter that matters. I've tweeted, no one cares, no one likes it, or was it favorites on Twitter? No one's favorites it. I get no heartsy wartsy, so my heartsy wartsy hurts. Moving on, if you want to follow Evan, you can follow him at Salsa Evan. He tweets about SNL. He tweets about stand-up comedy. He tweets about local sports and sometimes public sports. Is that what they call public sports?
Local and public sports?
Are they public sports? National sports?
Pro sports.
Pro.
In college.
Yeah, that thing that neither of us will ever be. Pros. Yeah. All right, that's been the podcast, guys. 10 episodes in. 90 to go till execution day. Self-execution day. Peace out. Tell everyone that you love them. Happy holidays. Promote the podcast. Go fuck yourself. Peace.
Peace.